This is Uprising. I'm Sonali Kohatkar. You can now watch Uprising on Free Speech TV, which airs on Dish Network Channel 9415, DirecTV Channel 348, and on hundreds of part-time cable affiliates and on Roku. A bill in Wyoming State Assembly overturning gun-free areas near schools passed the Republican-dominated chamber. The bill passed with a 42-17 vote and would allow concealed carry guns into public schools and government buildings. 7 states already have such laws on the books. Worse, the Federal Department of Defense has already distributed military equipment to a number of school districts, while the militarization of city police departments came to light after last year's protests in Ferguson, Missouri. A similar trend in schools has not received nearly enough attention. In fact, in documents obtained from the Department of Defense, media outlets have found that the Pentagon's so-called 1033 program has resulted in, quote, at least 125 school law enforcement agencies in 25 states that have received military gear free of charge from the Department of Defense. That includes police departments for 23 K-12 school districts and 102 colleges and universities, end of quote. Not surprisingly, the news has alarmed civil libertarians, students, and parents. It has also alarmed my guest, Sawaya, aka Matre, a Los Angeles-based hip-hop artist who has taken it upon himself to highlight the militarization of schools through his new single, Listen. Over the weekend, at an event called Students Not Suspects, he gathered a number of community members and students for a video shoot for his song. Matre has performed alongside the likes of Public Enemy, the Black Eyed Peas, and well-known Finnish rapper Paleface. He now joins me in studio. Welcome to Uprising.
Thank you.
Thanks so much
It's
for
great to be
joining
here.
us.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us first why you wrote this song, Listen, which we'll get you to perform and get to hear and watch you perform later in the program. But it's not it's sort of an unusual topic to write a song about the militarization of schools.
Yeah. So it was a really personal thing for me. I've worked for about 7 years with young people in LA, both in schools and juvenile detention facilities. And I do poetry and music workshops with them. And for me, over the years, it's been a recurring theme to see young people being policed, being profiled, being treated with excessive force by police, and not being heard and listened to. And so that's why the title of the song is Listen, because I feel like if we're concerned about safety, and we're concerned about, healthy environments and spaces, I think the answer to that has a lot more to do with creating environments of trust and respect and listening to young people more than it does bringing in more police presence and more intensified military presence.
I mean, it's amazing for us to even think about the idea that schools are militarized. I mean, certainly we know that many schools, particularly inner city schools, students are required to walk through, metal detectors. They're searched and they're often disciplined. Police are called into the classroom, and once kids enter what's called the school-to-prison pipeline, it very much it sets them up for a life of going in and out of the prison system. And then we're hearing that military equipment is now being given by the Department of Defense?
Yeah, so, one of the things that was a real initial reaction was just like shock, and what the LA Unified School Police received was so outrageous. There were 3 grenade launchers and an armored vehicle that's a mine-resistant, vehicle that's used for, heavy military combat situations. So
and assault rifles?
Assault rifles, 61 M16 rifles. So,
I mean, what context are officials imagining they would use such equipment on students in school? K through 12 students, we're talking about, little kids all the way through teenagers.
Yeah, no, it's a really good question, and it's part of what's created the outrage. And you mentioned the metal detectors, and that was another part of what led me to write this song. I work with a teacher and have been working in his classroom for many years with his students, who currently is being threatened with disciplining by the LAUSD because he refuses to metal detect search his students. And the current policy in LAUSD demands random metal detector searching every day at high schools and middle schools. Every high school and middle school in LAUSD is asked to do a random metal detector search every day.